Hey, Christophe Clugston here, and what is all this stuff? I'm answering questions and commenting and things like that. Uh, JKD Concepts. What's with the JKD Concepts? Okay, that something that started back more or less the concept of JKD by itself having a concepts versus the traditional JKD, which is really is a misnomer because JKD was totally against traditional or codifying things, but they obviously have. And concepts, JKD concepts were, oh, this is how we're going to apply JKD to any other type of martial art that we are going to use and take from, aggregate from would be the word they use now. This is really something that was used by the people in the 80s who started the seminar circuit in JKD, the Kali, uh, Filipino arts, and those also mixed with Pinjat Silat. Really, if you really want to know the truth, it was a business move. Why? Because now you've got a bundle of goods instead of saying, okay, we just have uh, we just have this art that we call JKD. Now you have JKD, and you get to talk about we're in this range of fighting, and out here I'm going to use my la boxe française, which they're saying salat, la salat, but two totally different things. They were actually using the sporting version, and then now I'm going to cross over into what would be the Kali Wing Chun, the checking range of Kali, the Wing Chun uh, stopping hands, which doesn't really happen in real fights. And anyway, looks good. It's fun to do. You get caught up in it, which was a disease, as Bruce said. You get caught up in the technology of any one thing, and then we're going to come across. Now we're going to get into the one punch, 1 inch punch range, and this would go into now would be smarter to be using Greco-Roman stuff, which I was using over 15 years ago. Anyway, combat JKD was a departure from this idea of concepts, because concepts we can just take everything and we're going to fit it into this overall schematic of JKD. That is a good idea, and a lot of people are hung up on it. You got a lot of people fighting each other still about the whole idea. You got divisions. You know, I could name names. Some of them don't like me. Who cares? You know. Who really cares? They're still, busy trying to make money in the JKD framework. That's why. And really, Combat JKD was a complete departure. I'm not the one who made the initial departure, but I'm the one who really made Combat JKD worldwide known, because nobody knew about it really before I came out in '94 and talked to. Our drills were totally different, and that's just part of the drills, the stuff that's on the original Combat JKD videos and DVDs, now DVDs. But that stuff is only part of what we were doing. But our drills were totally different, completely different than what anybody else was doing. And I don't care what they say at this point, and they can try to lie about it. But we were doing things that they were not doing, because we were very result oriented. We weren't just about doing things that looked good and then passing it on, sort of copies of copies that had never really performed. That was the difference. Combat JKD was about actual people fighting and those who'd done it, and there weren't many. And now I see kind of a derivation of a group who went off, and now there's a lot of people who came from a JKD framework background, and then they veered off into something else. And I mean, if you really take a look at a lot of different things, and you could say they took the concept. What they did was they wanted to go off and market their own thing, which is really basically just some parts of what JKD was doing at a certain time frame, and I mean some parts of JKD because the other people were doing it during that period of time. Well, I'm going to cover that in subsequent uploads. But yeah, the concepts, JKD. That's an important facet of the history of modern martial arts, as I would call it. So stick with me. I'm going to give you the low down dirt on everything.